Alec Wirth, everybody. Welcome.
Ah, fuck yeah.
How are you, buddy?
I'm fucking great, man.
Good to have you on finally.
This is so cool.
The fucking sexiest man in New York City, Alec Wirth. Look at him, guys. Look at this man.
Please,
this man mountain.
No, don't look at me. I hate attentions. This is. So I don't know if your viewers know that this podcast studio is right on the street.
They know.
So there's a They know. So there's
Some
a window,
know.
and I have ADD, so that's definitely gonna fuck with me. But I love it. I have a suggestion for you, by the way.
Yeah.
You got to get a big QR code that leads right to your podcast link, and then put that in the window. Because when I was standing out there, this whole group of people was like, "Who are they? I want to wait for them. I want to figure it out." And so the mystery helps a little bit, but then if you have a link, you could probably get some subscribers just by doing this.
There you go. Groupies. Maybe I should have a QR link that links them to a nude picture of myself.
Just meatspin.com.
Meat spin.
I did that. You don't know meatspin?
No.
Google it right now. Put a little link in, a little video right in the video right here.
All right. Meat spin. Meat. This is going to be tragic. Meat spin. Meat. All right. What the fuck? Is that a dude bumming a dude?
Apparently, it's a dude bumming a trans person. And that was done to me anytime I'd leave my laptop unattended, because I'm a trusting person. And I'd leave my laptop unattended in high school. And then that would always, it was either that or lemonparty.org. Tell me, don't.
I don't know. I know. I have heard of Lemon Party, but that was a high school thing. What was it?
I like that this is how we're starting.
Let's clarify this, just for the folks at home who need to know what Lemon Party is. No, I do remember it is. That was two old dudes making love. Three old dudes. Okay. Why was it called Lemon Party?
Two are just kissing very tenderly. Yeah. And it's very sweet. And then you scroll down and there's a dude blowing the guy that's lying on his back. And someone snuck a joke into 30 Rock. There's an episode of 30 Rock. I got to figure out who I don't know how you look up who wrote which specific episodes.
Okay.
It's probably in the credits, but there's an episode where Liz Lemon's dad comes to visit, and it's his name is Dick Lemon, and he takes everyone out to dinner, and then he insists on paying the bill, and then he says, "You can't have a lemon party without old Dick." And I'm like, they know. They got that past the censors.
Sick fucks. You know what, Alec? I think aside from Harrison, you are the only true New Yorker that I've had on this podcast. And you're like a native New Yorker. You're born and bred literally in Manhattan, on Manhattan. You've never
10, 20 blocks that way.
There you go. So what the fuck was it like growing up in this place? That's insane. Do you know how different that is? Compared to the rest of the world, growing up here is so extraordinary. And I mean, you would have to tell me if you think it's a good or bad thing. I guess you don't know anything else, but just wanted to put that out there. That is pretty fucking wild. Actually, no. Eli Ramos.
Yeah.
He's a
he
shout out to
lives
Eli.
Not
he was
far
born
from
and bred
me.
here as well.
Yeah. He grew up not too far from me. I lived here until I grew up here. I was born St. Vincent's. They closed it down. They also closed down my preschool. They're killing all my Horcruxes.
Jesus.
Horcruxes. Fucking nerd. Get out of here.
I'm sorry, guys.
My school, this is a tangent. I'll come back to this. But my school tried to ban Harry Potter books from school because everyone was reading them under their desks during class. They wrote it for I'm the age of Harry Potter. They wrote it for my age group. That dates me. I'm an old man. But no, they literally,
are you the same age as Harry in the books when the books came out?
Yeah. exact same age.
Man, you guys must have been frothing on that thing.
We were frothing so hard. It was just foam everywhere.
It was a foam party with human saliva.
No, I was a sweet little boy. I was a little nerd, and I used to sneak out of bed into my closet, into this, not revealing anything, and I'd go sit on the top shelf in the closet to try and get the experience of the cupboard under the stairs. And also, I was past my bedtime. So my dad caught me one time. He looked in my room and didn't see me. He's like, Alec? And he opens the closet and he just dies laughing because I'm up there with a little headlamp and the book reading. He's like, I don't think he's going to be into sports. He's
not going to be a football player.
And he was right. But yeah, they tried to ban it from my school because everyone was reading it. My mom used to volunteer at my school, and she goes to the PTA meeting and she's like, you guys are fucking idiots. They're reading books. They're like, let them read books at school, you assholes.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah. But no, I loved growing up here.
You know that would never happen now.
No.
Like, you're probably also the last generation of like
people that read.
Just like books even being an issue of people overreading. I mean, I could be wrong. They could be a new Twilight series or Harry Potter series, but it seems like now the internet has kind of taken that role, right?
I don't know. I don't hang out with a lot of Gen Alpha, Gen Z, because I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. Much.
Yeah. Also,
don't hang out with them much.
Yeah. I also find a lot of them very annoying. So I choose not to. No, but I don't know. I'm so glad just from my own brain. Like, I have enough ADD, and I don't know if I don't think I always had that. I have the signs and symptoms of ADD. It's like a umbrella term for. I'm not a scientist. Asterisk, but it's like an umbrella term for like a bunch of signs and symptoms, and you can take a test that's like it's a self-evaluation. So it's not like you take a blood test and you go, oh, you have ADD. But my issue is like impulse awareness control. Like I've worked on it, so I'm a lot better, and I can keep the threads. Like, I know that this is all a tangent from that original question. I got the thread. I do the weave. I weave away, and then I weave back. You know, it's you got to be very smart to do the weave. But I do the weave, and Are you
talking like impulse control? Like, for example, you'll be doing a task and you'll be like, I got to check this. And it's like the impulse of having to. Yeah. And that then just takes over everything.
Not knowing. It used to be not knowing when my attention left. And it took a lot of like learning just how to like catch it and like trace it back to, okay, what took me away from the current moment? Like, if I'm trying to read a book, I think it all came about when I hit puberty. And like, it was just like hormones in high school, and I went to boarding school, so I was like unmonitored, and like I was just like, and it went like crazy because I used to be like a reader and like all the time, and then in high school suddenly like I'm just too distracted. Like I'll read 2 pages, but I'll hit a word that like my brain's designed to keep me entertained. So I'll just start, oh, that reminds me of that movie I watched the other day. And then like my eyes are scanning, but I make it like 3 pages before I notice that I haven't read a single word. I've just been doing this on autopilot.
Alec, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. I
will get to the end of a page and I'm like, I don't even know what I just read, but I was reading it, but I wasn't present reading that. I'm
recognizing for me, a big thing was recognizing the like slowing down, like trying to do more things with intention, and recognizing when like I would have been taken away, and then just you slowly start to catch it sooner and sooner. So then you start to catch it like at 1 page, you catch it like, and then I got a prescription for Adderall, and no, I won't sell you any. No.
Yeah, I've got my own.
It's totally.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, I used it like a loaded gun because I know like I didn't want to be dependent on it, and I didn't want. I don't like the way it makes me feel.
No.
Like it makes me anxious. It fucks with my stomach, and like
It affects my sleep when I take it as well.
Yeah. If I don't take it before like 10 a.m., like, but it's still like, so I just did that like training wheels, and I used it like little dose, like I'll do the smallest dose, and then I would set an intention as like, my goal was to use it to train the neural pathways of awareness of where my focus was. And it really helped, because it helped me tunnel vision in on what I was doing, so that like now I don't really need it. I barely even like take, if I'm doing my taxes or something like really fucking boring, and I'm like, but like now I know when I'm super like jumpy or super ADD. And it's, I don't know, it took like a couple years of just like focus, like trying to work on this, and like trying to do like meditation or anything that just like, when you're doing an activity, try and do it with a focus of like, okay, I'm doing the dishes, like maybe I'll put a podcast on, but like only two plates spinning right now, you know? But yeah, growing up in New York was
No, it's good. Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So I grew up mostly upper. I was born in St. Vincent's. We lived on West 4th and Horatio for like a little bit in this like little basement apartment. My mom called me the mole baby, because she'd take me out of the apartment and the sun would hit me and I'd be like, flash forward to like when I was a bartender, 19 through now.
Hang on, 1 second.
Yeah,
you mentioned boarding school. No, I got you. You're good. You're in safe hands. You mentioned boarding school. Was that for high school? Because I had a small stint in boarding school. Yeah. I did a bit of boarding in year 12. Were you there the whole high school? What was your 4 years? Okay.
I went to Exeter, Phillips Exeter Academy. And at the time that I went there, the #1 school in the world. It's like Hogwarts for nerds.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that like an academic school?
Yeah. I really liked it. So I toured. I was miserable in 7th and 8th grade. I just didn't fit in with those kids. And
in what way?
I used to have a bit about this. I gotta bring it back. But my first day, good example is my first day of 7th grade. It was a new kid at the school, and I had long hair. I was like 5'3", 90 pounds, and I went by Al. And everyone thought I was a girl the whole day. And there were signs, in retrospect. There were signs and signals.
That's a little hard.
You don't recover from they were like they were so nice to me too. They were like girls were inviting me to sleepovers. I'm like, this school is awesome. They have co-ed sleepovers, and like a couple guys were really nice to me, like in a very friendly way. And I was like, flirting with me. And then gym class comes along, and I go into the boys' locker room, and this nice kid who was like, I could tell was like one of the popular kids named Johnny goes, Al, I think you're going the wrong place. I look at the sign, and I'm like, no. He's like, oh shit. And then I just see him run to the back of the locker room, and I go in, I'm like, that was weird. And then I hear him just whisper, yell, Al's a boy. And I was like, oh no,
dude.
Oh, and I was like, I just felt my stomach drop, and I'm like, I can't go back out there. And I'm getting changed in the corner of the locker room. I just see all these guys like peeking around at me. I come back out, and then they set up. I can't remember if it was like kickball or dodgeball. I think it was dodgeball. And the gym teacher is like, we're going to do a fun one today. We're going to do dodgeball. And he's like, let's do boys versus girls, battle of the sexes. And I'm on the boys' side. Now I'm watching all the girls figure it out themselves.
Oh, no. That's a really good story, by the way. This is a great story. That is so original. I've never heard that before.
Sucked.
You must have looked like a very feminine.
I was beautiful.
I mean, you're a beautiful man now.
No, I saw like some Johnny Depp. I think I saw Chocolat, like where he's got a ponytail, and I was like going for that. It's like trying to be a cool artsy kid with like a ponytail, but I couldn't grow anything here, so I just looked like a girl.
Fuck. Did you annihilate them in dodgeball?
I killed it because no one wanted to throw a ball at me because they were so uncomfortable and everyone was distracted. So I won. I was the victor and no one celebrated. It was just like, all right. Give it to the girl. And the gym teachers looking at us all like, what the fuck is going on? Why is everyone being so weird? I thought you guys loved dodgeball.
Jesus, that is so funny.
Yeah, you don't recover from that. You just got to move schools 2 years later.
That whole thing there, I'm telling you, is a bit. That whole story, I'll give you the clip. You need to turn that into a bit. That is really funny. That is really funny and really original. That's great. So you did 2 years there and you were like, these cunts still think I'm a girl. I'm out.
I didn't do much to convince them. Nothing against women. I just was like, this is not my people. And they were just very preppy and like very cliquey. And like a lot of them were very nice people. And I didn't have the social skills to give them anything to work with either.
It's a hard time. It's a hard time for lots of people.
There were a couple dicks there too. But like, so I applied to... my dad suggested that if I didn't want to be there, because it was like a middle school was a feeder into their high school. I'm like, I can't do another fucking 4 years here. So I was in the jazz band. That was my one respite. I was in the high school jazz band. So they didn't have any of our drama. They didn't care about any of that. And I was really good because I was the only one that practiced. And I was like, what
were you playing?
Saxophone, alto saxophone. So
can you still play?
Not really. I haven't played in years, but I did pick it up like a year and a half ago just to see if I still had, and I had the muscle memory and I could I could read the music. It sounded like shit because my embouchure, my mouth muscles are weak now. Sorry to my girlfriend. But,
the tongue's still all right.
But my teacher did one time make a very funny joke. He's like, he didn't tell me why, but he's like, girls love saxophone players, strong tongue. And I was like, for kissing? He's like, yeah, sure.
Go play with the girls.
I chose it. I was between that and clarinet when I was like going to choose an instrument, and I chose saxophone because I'm like, girls will like this more because this movie that my uncle was in has my uncle's in the Lost Boys, and
he's in the Lost Boys.
Yeah, he's one of the Lost Boys.
Dude.
Yeah, he's Death by Stereo.
Your uncle was one of the Lost Boys?
Yeah, he's a vampire in that movie.
Get the fuck out. And here you go, guys.
What's up?
You've heard it first.
What's up, Billy?
Uncle Billy.
Uncle Billy. But no, in that movie, there's a scene where there's this like oiled up, jacked saxophone player on the stage who's like making love to the sax. And I'm like, I bet chicks dig that. So that's why I picked this sax. But I loved it. And I had a really good teacher and one of the best teachers ever, Bruce Haynes. So I would practice, and then I became like lead alto in the high school jazz band, and that helped me get into high school, into like boarding school. And so my 8th grade, I was just like working my ass off trying to get straight A's and like interviewing at all the top like 10 boarding schools, top 5 like New York schools, because my dad lived in New York at that point. I lived in Connecticut in the middle school. Like we moved there after 9/11.
You guys cleared out after 9/11?
My mom and I did.
Yeah.
We had a country house because I have privilege. What's up? And I hate myself.
That's all right. You don't. You can.
It's okay to have a country house.
It's very okay. Plus, it's your parents' privilege.
Yeah, that's true.
They've worked hard for their country house.
Yeah. They
Enjoy it.
So my mom and I moved up there to Litchfield, Connecticut first, which I really liked that school. Mm-hmm. And it was right after 9/11. So this is all, okay, do this story. I'm managing my own ADD right now. But yeah, so you want to hear my 9/11 story?
Yeah, of course I want to hear it.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
please.
Yeah, this was kind of funky. So kind of funky 9/11 story.
Yeah.
Strap in.
Yeah.
No, I was in beginning of 4th grade. And I'm in school at PS6 in a school with 900 kids. And my mom is like running through the park, like, and she's kind of a witch. Like, she just has this weird level of intuition that I've never seen anyone else have, where it's just like wherever she moves, animals find her and she like heals them, or she'll see someone make a face. Like, she's running through the park, someone's like listening to a radio in French, and she sees them make like a weird face, and she's like, "What did it just say?" And she's the person said, they didn't speak English, but my mom knows a little bit of French, and she said that one of the Twin Towers just got hit.
Wow.
And so my mom calls up my dad, and he was like, I gotta verify this, but I think he used to work in the area. I forget what he did. I think he worked for Sony Music at that time, or I don't think he became an investment banker later, but he was like he was like late for work, and he was like supposed to be someone in that area. She calls him up to make sure he's okay, and then they're like, okay, we got to get Alec out of school. So they come to my school. Out of 900 kids, like, I was the first to get picked up. So, and they like pulled me downstairs. Like, I said, I got to get my backpack, and I run back into my classroom, and I say, one of the Twin Towers just got hit. I gotta get out of here. Bye, everyone. I scared the shit out of everyone.
You bastard.
And the teacher's like, calm down. I was like, I can't. I gotta run. Peace. Never saw any of them again. One friend. Like,
Really? So you were literally never back there?
So we go home. We go to Radio Shack. And my dad, like.
What's a Radio Shack for people that don't know?
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, so it's you're a foreigner, invading our country, taking our podcast.
Just tell me what Radio Shack is, motherfucker.
It's like Circuit City, you know that? No, I'm kidding. No, it's like a shittier Best Buy. It's like they used to have a store where you could buy just wires. Gotcha. And just like parts, or like,
right.
And
so why
like,
the fuck are you in Radio Shack?
So my dad was very like prepared, and he was very like he calls it the power of pessimism, but he believes in being prepared, and he like is kind of a prepper, and
cool.
that works out when like Hurricane Sandy or COVID or this happens, and like he was the reason we felt safe during this. Is he took us to Radio Shack to get a police scanner so that we could be on the same like radio frequency as the police, so we're not waiting for the news to hear it and then report it to us. We're hearing exactly what's happening right when it's happening.
Whoa.
So yeah, we get that, and then as we're at Radio Shack, the TV that's like just the display TV is on like a channel, like automatic rotation, and every channel is the news except for this thing that's like a music channel. It just like plays like beats, and so it keeps flipping between them, and so it's showing the news, and everyone's trying to watch the news, and then it flips to the music, and then like yelling at the Radio Shack, turn it back, and then it flips back to the news, and then at one point it's like, wait, something's happening. We're getting reports as like, and then you see like another plane. This at first, everyone thought it was just an accident, right? Then they're like, something's happening, and it changes back to the music, and then it changes back and the same shot, but there's no towers, or it's like now the second one's on fire and it just got hit, and we're like, oh shit, this is real. Like, this is like an active situation still. And so we get the fuck out of there. We go get some like rice and like dried food and everything, canned food, and then we're just sitting there all night with the radio, like listening to see if it's smarter, because it's hard to leave Manhattan once something like that happens, because then everything gets clogged. And like, I don't know what the best route is. It's probably like having a boat or like a motorcycle or something, or a helicopter. But like, yeah, we're like, are we gonna be stuck in traffic and vulnerable there, or do we just stay put, or do we go to the country house? Anyway, that's 9/11, and then like school's like out for like a couple weeks. My birthday was 2 days later. Totally ruined my birthday.
God damn it.
I was a sweet little boy. I told my parents, like, I don't want to celebrate my birthday today out of respect.
That's sweet. Jesus.
But I was a sweet little boy. I don't know what happened. But so then my mom had said before that at the end of that year she wanted to move up to Connecticut, which I didn't want to do. And then there were a couple schools that got like bomb threats, or like I don't know if they were real or like if like what was going on, but there was like a lot of like it felt unsafe in the city for a while. Like I'm in America too, but like my mom got spooked, and like she decided, okay, we're moving now. And so I go to this school in Litchfield Intermediate School, and I was the coolest kid at that school.
Wow.
Because everyone had saw 9/11 on their TVs, and then I'm the new kid from New York who was like there for it.
Wow.
And so everyone wanted to be my friend, and it was
the best.
Yeah, and those kids were awesome. Like that was like a fun like time. I like.
So was that the boarding school?
This is
No.
4 years before that.
Okay.
So this is fourth grade. I skipped fourth grade because in Connecticut the schools didn't match up, and like the fourth graders at that time, like when I was in fourth grade, were like coloring still, and I was like, I don't put me in with these like little kids. So then they skipped me a grade. I was born in September, so I'm on the cusp anyway. But yeah, then I'm the coolest kid in that school. There's this like this kid who became my best friend. Like he introduces himself. This is so lame now, but it was cute. He like comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm Greg. I'm the class clown." And I didn't say
That would have been me.
and I didn't say anything. All like I was like pretty like chill, pretty like laying in wait the whole day. And then I shook his hand. I said, "I'm Alec. Me too." And then we became best friends.
That is really cute. I'm the class clown.
I'm the class clown. Me too. What's up, bud?
Did you have a secret handshake?
I don't know if we had a secret handshake. One time we did become like weirdly competitive about like artsy things. Like I made this like little like origami hat that I was trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records, but those assholes don't take origami because it's like subjective whether you stuck to the thing. I'm still mad about that. I was so tiny, and I made this perfect little thing with my fingernails. It was like that big. I still have it because I'm a hoarder and I have everything. But and then Greg thought it was cool, and then he made a slightly smaller one, and then I was so jealous that he did that I was like shitting on his hat. Well, his hat isn't accurate to the origami specifications. And he's like, "What the hell, dude? I thought you'd be like happy about it." And then I felt bad, and I was like, "I'm sorry. I was just jealous. Your hat's cool too. It is smaller than my hat."
Oh God. Okay, so let me get you to take you fast forward then.
Yeah.
What was your boarding school like? I'm genuinely, a lot of my friends from home are boarders. So was it an all boys boarding school?
No, fuck no.
So co-ed. So you had boys and girls staying in the same dorm?
Different dorms, but same school and like same campus and everything. Like there's a girls' dorm like right across from
Was there a little bit of midnight mingling?
Not for me.
You were too busy making little paper hat.
Making my own little paper hat.
I got it smaller.
So look how small it is. You're not impressed at how small it is, ladies. It's very good technique.
But boarding is fun. It's different. It's hard to explain if you've never done it.
I loved it.
I only did it for a bit over 6 months. But so I really got the best part of it because boarding.
Were you like senior year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Were
you like a post grad or you were just senior year?
It was just senior year of high school.
Because we had PGs who had post grad guys that were like they would do it for sports to get into a better college, so they'd be like really good in their high school, but it was like a kind of like less accredited high school.
So they would stay basically and do another year of high school, just
do another senior year. And just for sports.
And would they do education stuff as well?
Yeah, but like that wasn't the priority. It was their priority was like sleeping with all of our seniors and sophomores.
I bet they did.
Like swooping in without any of the lame 3 previous years of history, and then taking all the girls you had a crush on.
They would have cleaned up, wouldn't they?
The PGs had a good time.
Yeah.
And it's also like a school filled with nerds. Like it really is Hogwarts for nerds. And the reason I liked it is I went to visit it in that 8th grade year, and it was like every class there is discussion based. So everything is a round table. All the kids were like engaged in like discourse, and it was just all like a big group discussion. Even math class, which was kind of unnecessary, but like everything was like, okay, we're working on this problem together, or we're like reading like To Kill a Mockingbird, and like we're like, okay, well, I think that this was like I don't want to go into examples. I haven't read it in a long time.
No.
Harper Lee.
I got you. That's cool though. That's
no, but
different.
I was like, these are my people.
Yeah.
I gotta be here because I was a nerd, and I was like, I want to be around like other people that are like, I liked school, and I was like interested in it. And then I got there, and I was like, okay, now I just want to make friends because I was so alone.
Yeah. But you could argue that collaboration makes everything better.
Yeah.
I mean, for educational wise,
It was awesome.
collaboration is
Yeah.
everything.
And it taught me how to like speak and like have a discussion in an engaged way with a group of people that you don't necessarily agree with. And it also taught me how to bullshit if I didn't do the reading. It was really like engaging. And then I went to college for a couple years, and I fucking hated it because it was all lectures and it was just boring. And also I was like just didn't, I don't know. I really liked that. And then when I went to acting school like years later, like I got that like itch scratched again, where I was just like, okay, everyone's engaged.
Yeah.
Everyone's present. Everyone's there. Like this I can pay attention to. This is
Gotcha.
like, because it's like, it draws you in. You have skin in the game on what's happening. You have an opinion. They teach you to like form your own opinions, and then the teacher's kind of the like monitor of what's happening of the discussion and like kind of leading it, but like they take a back seat a lot and like just let the discussion happen, and it's like you get real in-depth analysis, which I think is more applicable to like the real world than just sitting being talked at and like told to memorize dates.
Well, how often are we even scared to even speak up? You know, because we're worried about what people think, or we're worried if it's the wrong or right answer. But if that's the form in which you're getting educated, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's actually giving people a voice that may not normally do so. They may just sit in the back of the class and be silent, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a bit of a hippy dippy.
It is, except it was more preppy. It's a prep school, but it wasn't like as preppy as some of the other ones I toured at.
Yeah.
This one was more focused on like smart kids who are interested in learning.
Yeah.
Whereas like I went to, should I shit on? Like I went to like Deerfield, and that felt like I visited a country club of like white assholes.
Really?
I was like, sorry, Deerfield.
I don't know any of these, don't worry.
I met the like dean there, and he was like Judge Smells from Caddyshack. He's like, "Oh, welcome to the club, buddy.
Really?
Read this book and get back to me, and you can join our cool little boys club." And I was like, "Fuck these people!" I hated it there. Like I just toured there. There were like a lot of schools that like just weren't my vibe, and but like it was between like Exeter and St. Paul's were just really cool, thoughtful like kids that, and it was like some of my best friends to this day, they're like brothers to me, like are from my dorm in high school, or from like, and like I just did a, what was it, 15-year reunion because I'm old as fuck. This past spring, and like a lot of people didn't show. But the people that did show, like a lot of people who I know, like who I'm still in touch with, like didn't show. So there's a lot of people that I didn't really know that well in high school, but we all had this shared experience. It was a very specific experience. So we had like the l'esprit de corps, like the kind of foxhole brother like thing, because it was a lot of work, and I was a slacker there. But even being a slacker there, like I got like B's ish, and like, or like probably low B's. But I still was working my ass off, like as a slacker there, because they just give us like investment banker hours of work. But so we all kind of got bonded through that, and it was, it's just like a special experience. I'm so glad I did it. I don't think it's for everyone, but I went there with the specific intention of like, I don't have any friends. I'm isolated in this like preppy school in Connecticut, and I've always been an extrovert. So like people fuel me, and then when you're an extrovert in isolation, it's like amplified. So it's just like extra lonely. And so I got real good at saxophone. But no, that helped me get in, because you always need a little thing.
Yeah.
You need a little fun thing.
You do.
Yeah.
And then so after high school, you went to acting school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, after high school, I went to UVM in Vermont. Excuse me.
What's that?
University of Vermont. And I went skiing more than I went to class. It's Stowe.
That sounds really fun.
It was great. I loved it.
Is the skiing good there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, for the east, like I just went to Stowe this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, for Christmas Eve. It was awesome.
Did you get a run in?
It snowed the day before, so it was perfect.
Oh my god.
It was so fun.
I was actually thinking that last night. I was like, I should really try and get a snowboard in before the season's over.
Yeah. The good one near New York that I found is Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Mountain's like 2 hours away ish, and it's like, it's not Stowe. It's like, it's not the best of the East, but it's like decent. It's not crazy expensive. And
can you hire everything there?
Like rent?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can rent. That's like $50, and then there's I'll tell you all this.
I've got all my yeah. Okay, let's do that. I might see if I can get Mel to bring some stuff back.
Yeah.
I've got all the gear. I just don't have a snowboard.
Yeah, you can rent it.
I should buy one anyway now that I'm living here.
Yeah.
Do you rent one or do you own one?
I all my shit got stolen a couple years ago out of my car in Boston. Yeah. But I still have skis, but they took my fucking ski boots. I parked my car in my buddy's like indoor parking lot, but I didn't realize that there was like street access that like Boston's gotten sketchy. It was right before New Year's. It was right after Christmas, and I had all my Christmas presents in the car. I was an idiot, and I left all my shit in the car because I thought it was safe, and including my skis and all my Christmas presents. And then I wake up one morning, and I think I left the car unlocked as well, because privilege. Yeah. I go to the car, I open it, and then I see like a crunched up like Red Bull cherry can, and I only drink sugar-free Red Bull for my heart health. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like looking, and there's like a lot of stuff that's not there that should be there. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I get so angry, and I'm just like storming around, and I'm like looking like for like signs of my bags or whatever. And my buddy calls the police, who didn't give a shit. And I go and I like walk around the block, and then I walk back in. And then there's this dude who's carrying one of my bags, and I say, "No." I'm on the phone with my.
How dumb can someone
friend.
be?
I don't know. I just saw red, and I just go, "Hey, dickhead, that's my stuff!" And he's like, "Ah!" And then he drops it, and he's like, "I'll take my stuff out of it. I just found this bag on the street." And he convinced me that it wasn't him. And then in retrospect, it was definitely him.
Yeah.
It was definitely him and his buddies. But like, I'm glad he convinced me, because I was like ready to beat the shit out of this guy. And
you didn't get your ski boots though.
I didn't get anything. I got the bag back. Like I got one of my bags. I was like $3,000 worth of stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, it sucked. But yeah, anyway, they took all my ski stuff and all my Christmas presents. They grinched me.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. But yeah, that sucked. But no, so anyway, I rent now. I'm looking. I'm in the market.
Nice.
But Hunters, they got a good shop there.
Okay.
And
I'll have to go. I really want to get it. I'd love to go for a week, but hopefully we get a bit better snow, because it hasn't been.
We should do a ski trip.
I'm keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this later. This is probably boring.
No, this is good. So, all right. So you went to the University of Vermont, did you say?
Yeah, for 2 years.
And then was that for acting?
No.
Okay.
Business, statistics, and economics.
All right, we can skip that. Then you went to acting school.
I dropped out. I started bartending at 19. I was taking leave. I didn't acknowledge that I dropped out for a while. And then I'm bartending at this bar called The Coffee Shop in Union Square. It's closed now. It's at Chase Bank. And I picked that bar because they only hired like models and the prettiest like women I had ever seen.
Wow.
And so I walked in there my mom used to model with the owners. And so I walked in to say hi. My mom was like, "Oh, you're by the coffee shop. Go say hi to Carolyn." And so I go in there and I look around. I'm like, I gotta be here. This is awesome. And I was like, "Hey, do you need a bartender?" And she's like, "Yeah." I worked there for like a year and a half or something, and I made a rule for myself that I'd only drink on nights that I worked. So I started working 6 days a week.
Of course.
And I became a regular at this bar that let me in. I don't know if I should say the name because there's still a bar, but all the people that are responsible have since moved on. But I didn't get carded the first night. I like asked like coworkers like, "Hey, where's the spot to go?" And they say, "Oh, we all go to Park Bar." And so I like pop in there with them. They didn't card me, so I'm like, I gotta make friends tonight because I don't have a fake ID. And so they let me like drink, and I was like making friends with everyone. And then I went back the next night to make sure I like solidified it. Yeah. And then I kept going there for years.
Really?
And that was the only bar that I went to. I also was so naive because I don't do cocaine that it's like it was a coke den.
Really?
Like, I was like, why does everyone go to the bathroom together? It's so weird. I thought it was like a gay thing. I don't know. I thought they were like sucking each other's dicks. But I like, yeah. Really? And then finally, like, yeah, they're doing cocaine. I'm like, oh, that's why I'm not invited. But I went there on my 21st birthday. It's my birthday. I said, how old are you? I was like, oh yeah, you're not gonna like this. I was like, I'm 21. They're like, motherfucker. Like,
did they really? That's so funny. Did they say anything?
Yeah. She was like, you son of a bitch. Like,
really?
Two of the bartenders used to take turns trying to get me as drunk as they could. Like they see how hungover I'd come in the next day. And one time I drank, I think like a big bottle of Sauza. I think she showed me at the end of the night. I had drank like 3/4 of it in just tequila orange juice and a little bit of cranberry, which I named a tequila mockingbird, thinking that I came up with that. And then I found out that obviously everyone had already come up with a tequila mockingbird, but I thought I was brilliant. I invented it independent of knowing that. But yeah, I drank like a bottle of Sauza, which is a good tequila.
Jesus.
So I was hungover through to the next day. Like through the next day to the day after.
Fuck.
And Davina won.
You can take a hangover a lot better when you're 21. Though.
Yeah, I'm a little bitch now. Yeah. I have like a beer and I don't even get drunk and I feel hungover if I don't hydrate. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm going to do dry January through March, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
What would that be? 90 days?
I don't know. Should I just do 100 like you? Be cool like you?
You should do it. Do whatever you want. I'm kind of getting over it now. I think I'm getting close
bored.
to 70 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like a beer.
Yeah.
I'd like a beer. I've been drinking.
Have you tried Athletic?
Nah.
They're the fake beers, but they're actually good ones.
I've been drinking the Heineken Zeros. I like them.
Those are good.
They're great. They make you feel like you're having a beer.
Yeah. Athletic is really good. And they got like really different flavors, and they got one that's like they're close to Corona one that I just love.
Okay.
Like, I drink that anyway, even if I am still drinking.
I think I'll still drink them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just not worth having 2 beers. Fuck your whole sleep up for the night. But no, you should do it, man. You should do it. I think everyone should do it. Once every couple of years, have a good like.
I do a cleanse every once in a while.
Good cleanse, yeah.
Reset. I got too high a tolerance now. It's like because I'm bartending again. Well, actually, I can't blame that. It's because I'm just drinking.
Well, it doesn't help when you're working in the.
Or the comedy too. I'm trying to untie it from my stand up too.
Yeah.
Because it's like I like at the mic I have free reign. Like especially when I was working there.
Yeah.
At the bar, they just let me drink whatever. Actually, I don't know if they.
Well, I was doing I was doing like 2 beers at every mic. And then like so I was doing if I was doing 3 or 4 mics a day, I was coming home drunk.
Yeah, I was doing like.
Yeah. It's so easy to do, but it's really fun.
Yeah, especially when you can pour it for yourself.
Yeah.
and it's free. It's pretty good.
You know, I bought mushrooms. You know, they sell guys mushrooms.
That's a.
I'm not going to say which bar, but I bought mushrooms at a bar, and
well, now we can't plug.
We can't plug this bar, but it was New York is kind of wild. There's some different stuff going on here. You can buy weed everywhere. You can buy mushrooms everywhere.
That's because
they're not legal though, are they? The mushrooms?
No.
Okay.
That's why we got to be on the deal because I still have a tie to them. But no, that's because that's what happens when you're working for a guy instead of like a company.
Yeah.
It's just a guy.
Yeah, dude, those mushrooms were so strong. So I had. Have you had those mushrooms? No. So I had half a bar.
Yeah.
Which I think is like 5 grams of mushrooms equivalent. Because I was like,
that's a lot. That's like a whole
way too much in a little studio apartment in New York in the middle of the night.
Just alone?
Mel was there, but it wasn't good. Never again. That's what started my sobriety. I was like, no.
It's good.
Pulling my head in.
Good to have a nice clean bottom.
So what was acting school like? Did you do it for 4 years?
2 years.
Okay.
So I did 2 years of college, dropped out, bartended. Let me tell you this story because I'll tell you why I went to acting school.
All the stories.
Exclusive.
I love the stories.
You heard it here.
A man with a little bit of life experience here, guys.
Yeah,
Isn't this lovely?
Damn straight. So I'm at coffee shop, and it's like November 2014. No, 2012.
Coffee shop. This is the bar.
The coffee shop
with all the hoes.
Bar. They were ladies. They were ladies of the night. No,
beautiful,
they were
beautiful ladies.
Some of them were hoes.
Models.
Some of them.
I'm hoping there was at least one in there for you.
I dated a girl there that was very classy and a nice lady. I have nothing bad to say about her.
Beautiful.
No, it was a great time. Okay, so one side note before this story.
The weave.
This is the weave. Doing the weave, guys. So I one time, like we had this guy that was the maitre d', like the host, who fancied himself a manager. He wasn't though. He was just I guess he was kind of the manager of the waitresses, the servers, and he would be like a dick and just put up their like the negative Yelp reviews and like on like a bulletin board, and then he'd skip over the ones that were very clearly about him. So I would print those out and put those up. Really? Because there was some that's like the host's an asshole, and like, but no, there was like once a month there was just this wave of like negative Yelp reviews where like the waitress just bit my head off for no reason. I don't know. Like we just asked for a little more water and she screamed at me, and I was like, that's weird. And then one day they're all doing the candles. There's like a little booth like this, and like I'm just sitting there, and like they're doing like the candle, switching the candles out. And one was like, "Oh my god, my cramps are so bad right now." And then like 2 other girls like, "Oh my god, I just hit my like day 2," and they're all on their period
at the same
and I found out they cycled up, and it lined up. I checked, it lined up with the negative Yelp reviews. I didn't know that was a real thing. It blew my mind. And so I just like I told the one other male bartender, we got to be real nice to the ladies this week. We got to give them some chocolate and just don't give them any shit. We're gonna be good boys. No, it was.
That's so funny.
I didn't know that was a real legit thing, but it was,
wow.
I don't know who the alpha was, but I have an idea. But
I wonder why biologically that has happened. Like why women can sync up.
I think
like what was the purpose of it happening? Like, what was the reason for it happening?
So that they only have to fear bears like once a month.
And they can watch each other's backs.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. So that if anyone runs out of tampons, someone's got her covered. No, it's like, no, I don't know. No, anyway, so I'm there one night in Met Coffee Shop. It's November 2012. And I'm working the back bar, and I'm like miserable because there's no one there. It's the first day of snow, and it's like there's something magic in the air. And then one of the servers comes to the back bar, and she said, Bill Murray's at my table. And I said, don't let him leave. And she's like, what? I said, keep him here, like Goodfellas. And like I'm like, I got to talk to him before he leaves. And he's my hero. I grew up, he was my hero. And my mom used to date a different member of SNL, like back in the day. She was a model, and she's way cooler than me. And so she knows him. Like she knew him back in like the 80s. And so I was like, I have to know if this story she told me is true. So I wait till and coffee shop was like a spot that like celebrities would come in, and there were rules in place. Like if you're not their server, you can't talk to them. You know, leave them alone, treat them like anyone else. And so fuck that. I don't care if I get fired. It's Bill Murray, and that dickhead host like is like, so waitress comes back, and she's like, he just got his check. And so I'm like, thank you. And so I go up, and I like see the guy, and he's like sees me like looking at Bill Murray, and he was just sitting alone in a booth, like being Bill Murray. And he's like, what you doing? Where you going? And I said, I'm just going over here. And I juke left and I go right, and I get past him, and now I'm too close for him to stop me. And then I go right up to Bill Murray, and I'm like, I don't really get starstruck that often, but he's my fucking hero. And so I go up to him, I said, hey, Mr. Murray, I'm Alec. You knew my mom in the 80s. And I see genuine terror in his eyes. And I'm like, oh, you're not my dad. No, I know my dad. No. No. And he's like, you can't do that to us. I'm like, I'm sorry, man.
Did he actually?
Yeah. And he
wow.
Said, and I said, like, she told me this story. He said, her name's Kelly. Like she told me like this story. I got to know if it's true. I said her full name. And he's like, I remember Kelly. Yeah. What was the story? So she's like, I was at Lorne Michaels' Christmas party in like 1983, 1984, and like everyone was like, there was like this homeless guy there, and everyone was giving him a hard time and like telling him to get the fuck out of there, and I just didn't like that. So I went to the open bar that wouldn't serve him, and I brought him like a beer, and I said, these people are all assholes. I'm sorry they're treating you poorly, but like Merry Christmas. And like so the guy said thank you, and then he like left. And he comes back like 20 minutes later, and he takes off whatever he's wearing, and it's Bill Murray in disguise. And he points across the party, and he says, you, Kelly, are the only decent person in here. And I told him the story, and his eyes like lit up. He's like, I remember doing that.
Wow.
Why would I have done that to your mom? I said, because you're the fucking man. And I was like, I just watched your drunk tour of the Moonrise Kingdom set, and I was just like, you're my hero. And he's like, and he was so nice, so gracious, and he like asked me like what I was up to, and I'm 22 at this point, and I've got like I was just bartending. I had like a band kind of that we kind of practiced, and I had like done like a UCB class, but like an improv class, but like at that point I had just given up on all of my dreams before I even tried them out of like scarcity mindset or fear. And he like I kind of gave him a bullshit answer. I was like, I don't know. I kind of got a band, but I'm like mostly just bartending right now. And I'm like, I'm figuring it out. And he was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. And then I was just so mad at myself, and I was just like, that's so fucking lame. Like I decided like that night, like this is gonna be my turning point. Like I'm like, I just met my hero, and I had like the lamest answer for like, what are you going at? I wasn't going after anything. I'd given up on everything. So I decided that night, like I'm going to apply to that acting school that I had heard a lot about. And I knew might be right for me, but I didn't even like try. And it was like too many steps to like look into it for my ADD brain. And so I prioritized it, and I set up an interview, and I read their book, and then I did an interview, and like I like was so nervous, and I normally like interview pretty well because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to see if it's a good fit for me. I wanted it so bad, and I was just like a wreck in that interview. But like I somehow got, it's its own story. I got in day 3 of that acting class with a different teacher. It was also one of the best teachers I ever had, named Bruce, also like my sax teacher. Day 3 of that class, like I had this like scene, like this like exercise that just clicked for me, and I was just like, this is what I got to be doing. And then like 3 months later, I took a stand-up class with Tom Shalhoub through the Pit, and he's like a working comic, and like I started doing that, and then I started playing with my band. I just started like going after, like putting myself out there, going after everything, and just like figuring out, okay, I want to be a storyteller. I want to like learn like filmmaking. I want to learn acting. And it's just like this kind of like creative kind of push for me that like I've just fell in love with all that stuff. And then that's kind of what charged me through to today.
I mean, there's no coincidences in life. And for you to have that story from your mum and then see him there on that day.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it like happened to me, but I was also like, I was aware enough at that time. I was like 22, and I was like kind of miserable and floating, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, that I was like, this time I'm taking the reins. This time I'm like, this is my turning point, whether I like it or not. Why not make that my story and like go after it finally, instead of just like trying to pick a lane or like trying something a little bit but not really. And but like, yeah, I still like my goal, and I gotta fucking get on it because he's getting old, is I want to work with him. And so I'm putting that out there.
Wow.
Into the universe. I want to be in something with, I want to do something with Bill Murray. Like, he's just my fucking hero. And I've still procrastinated for years, writing him like a thank you letter on, like just kind of getting me like that being a moment, getting me on my path. And I'm gonna say it now. I gotta do it now. I gotta actually write the thank you letter.
Wow.
But yeah, no, such a cool moment, and like one of my
such a New York moment too.
Yeah.
I mean, those things happen in this city, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, unlike anywhere else. Mm-hmm. You run into people that, like, I saw Matt Damon the other day just walking through Central Park, and I was like,
Damon.
You don't see that at home.
Nah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So what did you like acting school? I've met a few people now that have done it, and they really enjoyed it.
I loved my acting school. I don't know if I would love every acting school. Mine was a 2-year acting conservatory. Mm-hmm. It was very, very fancy. No, it was Meisner technique, and it was taught. It's taught very similar. The focus is on being present and in the moment, and all of your attention is on the other person or the activity that you're doing, and the ethos and the way they taught it, like. Sanford Meisner wanted to find a way to teach acting the way you teach like piano. He was a classical pianist, and he wanted a concrete methodology for teaching acting, because there was like not really a lot of that. And that kind of school of thinking and the concreteness like just seemed like something that would get me out of my head and get me into the moment. And so I really liked, and I had a really good teacher who was very passionate and just so dedicated to us as students. And I just took a class with him again this year, 10 years later. And he like would sit, like we do a 3-hour class, and then he'd sit with me and my like scene partner or like someone else in their scene partner for like another 3 hours. He's like, do you have time? Or like, do you have time? Like, why do you care so much? But
wow.
It's one of the best teachers I've ever met in my life. And it's just, and that makes a huge difference too. But it's also, we got fans. What's up? But no, it's, I loved that school. I made a lot of friends there, and like just the technique really kind of gave me a grounding that I use in everything now. Like it was also kind of like psychology, and like helped me figure out who I was and get me past the like first year is all about breaking you down to your neutral space, like in like to your emotional core, where like all the like guards you put up and all the persona, like whatever you do to like get through high school and being bullied and everyone thinking you're a girl, like that, the facade is stripped away, and it's like it felt like I got myself back. Like I felt like it brought me back. Like I felt like I had lost myself for like 15 years, and then it brought me back to like core Alec, and it was also just such a cool thing to study. And like, when you have a scene or you have like an exercise that works well, it's like you black out almost. It's like a flow state that you don't even remember anything that you did. You just remember everything the other person did, and that's how you know it went well. And it felt like magic. And I was like, I'm hooked on this. And like, and now I get that with like stand up too. And it's just like, I found like, for me, that really helped me in my approach to writing and also just being on stage, in that I'm just trying as hard as I can to be here now in the moment. That's another Bill Murray thing. He did a Charlie Rose interview, controversy noted. But Charlie Rose, I asked him what his goal is, and he says, my goal is just to be here as much as I can. Like be present, see what that's like, to be here as much as be in the moment. And that like you get so much more out of life if you're not like in the like future planning or in the past like regretting or thinking about like all that, and like, or on your phone, like
100%.
Yeah,
it's really, I mean, but the problem is that's where most of us live, in the present, not in the present, like in the future, in the past, in the conditioning that has just been going through life, you know. And it's a hard thing to get away from. It's cool that you're talking like this, because it's I mean, really, it's the only way to live true is being present. It's sometimes a lot easier said than done.
It takes practice too. Like, and there's a lot of like podcasts and like books that I've read the synopsis of. There's a couple books I read that like were really helpful. One is Pete Holmes's book, Comedy, Sex, God, and his podcast. He got really into Eckhart Tolle and Ram Dass and like these like kind of like new age-ish spiritual teachers who are just very focused on basically that. I think one of them is like the mantra is be here now. Yeah. And
that's Ram Dass.
Yeah. And his book makes it very accessible.
So is he a comedian?
Pete Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he an enlightened comedian? Has he had like a spiritual awakening?
He used to be very Christian, and then he's got a whole story. He had like a Christian upbringing, and then he got cheated on by his wife, and this is all the TV show Crashing. But like that's his autobiographical, and then he kind of had like a spiritual awakening where he started like looking at, there was something right in there. There was something right, not the organized religion or the way it was taught to me, but like there's elements of this that like can be applicable to like really spiritual life is important. And I really liked his approach, and I think it's a really good gateway in, especially for people who don't have a familiarity with this. Like, I think Eckhart Tolle is great and like has a lot of interest.
Eckhart Tolle is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm a big student of his.
Yeah,
I've listened to dozens of his audiobooks. I've read a few of his books.
Yeah. That's like whenever I'm like going through like something that's just like I went through a breakup years ago that was like the first girl I ever loved, and my uncle Billy, who's gotten very into like Eckhart Tolle and all of that, like he's like the guy that I would talk to about that. And the thing that would make like he would help me kind of he helped me deal with the pain of that by leaning into the spiritual. And I was like, there's something just very comforting about like kind of changing your perspective to like the bird's eye view, or like just taking yourself away from the story of what your life is, because it's so easy to fall into that groove, and like take a bigger picture approach of like where you can separate yourself from the ego and separate like awareness from ego, and then just try and lean into being present in the moment, and like, okay, you feel pain, put your awareness on it. Don't try and change anything, just try and put attention on it, because things that are observed have a notable like change within them just by the act of observing. And so you just like, where do you feel it in your body? And I felt it here. And he's like, okay, just put your attention on that. And just like a lot of emphasis on trying to separate yourself and what you identify with from your awareness of what you think yourself is. And there's the actor, and then there's the observer. Like what's observing is maybe you're the observer. You're the awareness. You're not the. I'm not Alec. I'm the awareness of Alec, and I'm the.
No, I get you.
I know I'm speaking.
No, brother, you're speaking my language.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying. I was actually thinking about this last night. I was like, could you be? So if you're like an enlightened fella like Jesus or the Buddha, or even someone like Eckhart Tolle, because Eckhart Tolle is just another enlightened person, could you be a professional stand-up comedian? In the sense of, because if you're an enlightened person, right, you've got to step away from your ego. You've got to step away from anything that is labels of things, making stories up, having opinions of things. Because anything like that, an opinion, a story is just it's basically a made up thing, unless it's something that really happened to you. But how could you have an opinion on something if you're an enlightened person where you see everything as God's will, everything as I don't know if I'm going to articulate this very well.
I get what you're saying. I think, it depends. I think anyone can be a stand-up comedian. Can they be a good, funny stand-up comedian? Is the real question.
Do you reckon Jesus could have got up there and been
I would
like, what's
love to watch
what's
that.
Jesus going to make jokes about? Like, I don't know. It's like, he can't call anyone a dickhead because he loves
really
everyone.
nailed me.
That's true. Of course he could have been a fucking comedian.
Does anyone have a cracker?
I'm thirsty.
I'm dying up here.
It's funny how I was thinking about this last night. It was like a little daydream before I fell asleep. But that's interesting. I'm into all the holistic side of things. I think it's the way forward, and I hope, this sounds a bit weird, but I hope one day in my life before I die and while I'm still healthy, I have like many spiritual awakenings, where I can essentially move further and further away from like mind-made thought, mind-made bullshit, and just be more present in my life. It's been something that I've had my eye on for a long time, and have slowly been working towards trying to set myself up more spiritually as a person, in my practices like meditation, in things that I read. But there's like a lot of mental conditioning, a lot of bullshit that we've ingested. Our whole personalities are just mental conditioning that we've formed from the young age, from things that we've picked up from other people, and beliefs that we've picked up from ourselves and other people, and what we were told to believe and what we were told to do, and told that this is a fucking bottle and now we call that a bottle. But I don't know. It's just, there's a lot. I don't know where I'm going with this. Sorry.
No, I get it. There's a lot of noise. I don't think you should.
There's a lot of noise.
I get what you're saying about like wanting that on your deathbed, but I think the pursuit of it is what we're here. I think we're here for a reason, and I think whatever soul entity like it that's powering the VR goggle experience of Cam or of Alec or of whatever is whomever is made a decision to be here, and for a reason, to have the full experience and to have the pursuit of not knowing or losing touch with that you are enough, you are whole, you're here. Like the story is the distraction, and then like getting caught up in the story, and then like losing sight of who you are, and then the pursuit of trying to make your way back to that. Like, I think like babies are closer to enlightened or like that truth than once all the noise is added and all the neural pathways and all the distractions and like trauma and all those things. But there are lessons in the failings. There are lessons in the losing yourself and then refinding yourself in a different place.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I don't know, I try not to live with regrets because, one, I don't think it's constructive, but two, I think like I'm so fucking glad that I wasn't socially adept in 7th and 8th grade, because I'd probably be some finance bro now or something like that. It'd be some asshole in Vineyard Vines, like wearing Sperry topsiders and a nice little whale polo here. And I would probably be somewhat happy, but I wouldn't be the me that I know and love. And I wouldn't have found a way to love myself the way I have through the path that I took. And like, I think that helped me develop a personality. I think those years made me the funnier person that I am, that I don't think I would have been in the same way had I like fit in those years or not had so many awkward situations, and so many cringe moments that I'm like, I still get the shower thoughts of like, why the fuck did I say that? But it's like, to make me, you know, and to give me the strength to like, to know how to bomb, or to know how to like bomb in life, where you're like, oh, I fucked that up. I fucked that date up, but there's more chicks out there or like more people that I will connect with more. And I don't know. I do have like a somewhat woo-woo belief that there is a guiding kind of force. Like I always think, we were talking about how small New York is and how that happens here so much, where you just run into someone that you haven't, like a celebrity, or you run into someone. I run into so many people that I haven't seen in years, that like, and I'll just go for these walks where I'm just like trying to clear my head, and I'll just go for an aimless walk, and I'll go by feel, like the wind takes me, and I'll just go like, oh, I'm feeling going left right now, or like, oh, okay, I'm hungry now, and I know there's a coffee shop over there, so I'm going to take this route. And like, then I'll just I'll choose to change subway cars on the platform, and then the doors will open and I'll see someone I haven't seen since high school. And had I not made that decision, I always trace it back. I'm like, had I not made that decision to move by impulse or whatever gut feeling that led me to do that, I wouldn't have run into them. I wouldn't have had that cool conversation, or like learned that they just had a baby or something. And like, or reconnected with someone that I like, oh, I've missed them, but I haven't been able to find them on Facebook or whatever young people use. And so but I always, those moments are the moments that make me believe in like that. And then there's a wavelength that like my mom, I think, is very connected to, that like people are more or less in tune with, the closer they are to their core of like who they are, and the closer they are to like some kind of spiritual light where they're listening. And like, if you're looking for it and you're listening for the signs, and like you start to clear the noise away so that you can trust your gut because it's not being influenced by all the noise, then you just get the signal. And the signal is that like kind of guiding force that leads you to the path that you're supposed to be on. And like the things that make you like want to do the things that make you feel like you're you and your best you.
I love that, man. I've never heard this side of you, and I love it. It's really cool. And
I like that we started at
what you're
Spin.
saying, what you're saying rings really true, and I think it rings true for a lot of people. It's really beautiful.
Thank you, man.
I love that. I'd like to meet your mum. She sounds
love you.
Your mum sounds like a good girl.
She's awesome.
And she's
a good girl.
And she was obviously
good Shayla.
Bit of a hottie back in the day.
Don't look her up. I'm not saying her last name.
I want to see pictures.
Don't look up my
mom. Was your mum like the? Oh, we gotta wrap this up in a sec. Did you ever cop shit about having a hot mum? Yeah, of course.
I had
How would it be nowadays with men, with like people who are going to have mums that OnlyFans?
It's going to be awesome for their friends.
Yeah. Oh,
So glad my mom didn't have OnlyFans.
God damn. I wish she did. Well, give me some plugs. So in case, if you guys didn't know, Alec has his own mic. He runs his own mic with Steve Messner, who you will have met by now. Give us some plugs, Alex.
What's happening
I got
in your life? I got a mic at a bar on the Lower West Side called Judy Z's. My mic is called the Brainstorm Comedy Mic. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. every Wednesday for the most part, minus this. Well, this is going to air later. Yeah, every Wednesday. And it's a party, and we just wanted to kind of build a community and like build the best mic ever. It's free. Just buy something to make the bar happy. And people do like 4 to 5 minutes, and people generally hang out the whole time. From that talent pool, we've started like finding comics and putting them on shows. We're going to throw you on one of these days. We're going to do a bunch more shows this year. Yeah, we've just kind of wanted to build the community first. We didn't want to make our money off the comics. We wanted like to make the community and meet cool people, and then build those friendships, and then like build that network so that we all rise together. And then now we've done 2 shows now, and they were like 2 of my favorite experiences. And we're just trying to get that shit going.
Nice, man. Well, we'll have the details for that when I publish. And what's your Instagram?
Oh yeah, at Albandero, ALBANDERO.
Nice. Well, we'll have the details for that as well. Mate, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Love you, man.
And we're going to have to do this again. I love you too, man. We're going to do many more of these.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
You guys, Alec Wirth, everybody. Absolute fucking legend. Good looking rooster.
Oh, job. Cock of the walk.
See you next time, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Going After It with Cam Bird. Produced by Cam Bird. Co-produced by Ryan Rizzuti and Shreya Suresh. Music by Brian Rigby. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you can, remember, get after it.